What's going on, everyone? In this video, I'm going to show you how you could pick up books incredibly cheap on Amazon. I'm talking books that are under 10, under 12 bucks, books that you can then flip back on Amazon for 30, 40, or even more. If you're new to the channel, my name is Joji Davenport. I'm a high school chemistry teacher and a six-figure Amazon FBA bookseller. And I'm here to educate you guys on how you could buy books on Amazon, resell them on Amazon, and how this side hustle can hopefully turn into a sizable income that potentially might one day replace your income. So let's get right into it. All right, we're over here at Amazon. A great day for sales today, over $1,000. Also yesterday was over $1,000, a little bit less than the previous days. And what I want to do is just go to my manage orders page and show you 4 or 5 of the most recent books that I've sold. You can see that they're in the 30 range, 50, 41, 55, 60. All of those books right there are all books that would have been bought for under $12, under $14. And what I want to do is just show you how you can find these books through a variety of different strategies. So we're going to go over how to find these books using Keyword Deals, how do you find them using Keyword Product Finder, and then an easy way to find them using BookMine. All right, so I don't want this video to be too long. So what I did is I went over to Keyword Deals and actually put in a couple of parameters that I think would be really helpful for you all. And so I'm over here on the Keep homepage where to keep the deals, and I'm going to go ahead and click this use button because we're looking for books in use condition. I'm going to come down to the limit drop interval and select day. That means we're trying to find books that have dropped in price just within the last day. And for the drop percentage range, I'm actually going to leave it open, 0 to 100%. I'm not really too interested in drop percentage, especially when you're looking for books that are really cheap, because if you're finding a book that's $10 and it dropped $2, all of a sudden that's a 20% drop. That's a pretty significant drop, right? So as you get lower in price, you probably don't want to have that selected. I'm going to have the drop range be at least $10 or more. And then I'm going to have the current price range set between 0 and 10. So we're only going to be looking for books that we can buy right now on Amazon for under $10. And by the way, the reason why we want to find books that are a lot cheaper like this is because a lot of you out there I know are probably just getting started with A2A flipping. You're probably not sure if the model works, and you're wanting to find books that are cheaper because you probably don't have too much capital to be spending, 30, 40, 50 bucks on a book. You want to find something that's somewhat cheap that you think you have a high likelihood of selling for 30, 40, or $50 and actually making a pretty sizable profit and a pretty sizable return on investment. We're also going to look up to a sales rank of 1.5 million. This is going to ensure that we're actually finding books that move. Now, one pro tip is I sell tons of books that are over 2, 3 million rank. Sometimes even sell books that have no rank. And so I wouldn't say completely ignore those, but in the beginning, absolutely, I'd recommend kind of staying below like 1.5 million, just so that you are finding books that are selling. Because if you are new, you're probably not buy box eligible. Now, one thing that you need to do to become buy box eligible is actually sell books, and the best way to do that is to find books that actually sell more often. Now, lastly, what we're going to do is go ahead and sort by the newest first. And so the really cool thing about Keep Deals is that you can quickly and easily go through these books, one at a time, and you can get through 100 books in pretty short period of time, maybe 10, 15 minutes. It depends on how fast of a sourcer you are. But one of the downsides is there's a limited amount of information that you can see. And really what we're going to be looking for is a book that's current use price is significantly below kind of what its historical average use price is. And so here's a great example of what we just found. You can kind of see that just today it dropped from $18 down to $5.70. So it did drop by $10. That's great. And we can see is there were plenty of sales rate drops when this book was $20, pretty consistently. Even it was up to $40 last August, September. So definitely some sort of seasonality of this book in middle, third edition. Yeah, so this is definitely got to be some sort of college book or high school book, or elementary, I don't know, some sort of educational book. You can see how that offer count dives off a cliff here in August, September, gets really low. And this book got up to the 40s at the lowest use price and was buy boxing up to 60. So here's a book that potentially could be a winning book that we found with that Keep Deals filter. And so what we can do is actually go to the page here, and you can see you've got $5.70 plus $5 shipping. So for a book like this, if you just go over to Selling App and you go ahead and type that in, plus $5.16, you'd be at all-in buy cost of $10.86. This is a book, again, that appears to be selling for pretty much over $20 almost year-round. You can see it's a little bit cheaper last July, September. One thing that I really like about this book is that its offer count today relative to the same day last year is actually lower, which is a good sign that this upcoming season is probably going to repeat the same sort of pattern. And I would say for a book like this, we're probably going to want to sell it in the $30 range. And if we can sell it for, let's say $35, now we're making an $8 profit, 73% ROI. But again, remember last season, it actually got up into the 40s, even up to the 50s with sell line drops. And again, that's just to the lowest use price, not even the buy box price. So probably what I would do is set my min price at 35 for this book, and probably wouldn't be too greedy with this book. I'd probably set my max price at 45. And then you're talking $16 profit on a $10 purchase, which is pretty amazing. Now, I went ahead and started scrolling down some other potential deals, and I came across this one, which looks pretty decent as well. You can see this book, its used price has basically been $40, mid-30s, $40 year-round, plenty of sales on drops. It's a book that's selling. You can see that the used and new offer count are not substantially higher or lower. They're kind of just what's normally used in new offer count bin. And you can see it just dropped from $22 down to $6.30. So again, a $10 drop. What we can do again is look to see if this deal still exists. And bummer, it looks like this is $6.30 plus $13 shipping. This is one of the major gripes I have with Keep It Deals is that you're always going to get the sort of base value price, not including shipping. And so in this case, the real price isn't $6 plus $4 shipping, right? It's $6 plus $13 shipping. So it's really $20 for this book, which honestly is still somewhat undervalued relative to what it sells for. And this is kind of one of the pain points that people have with using Keep It Deals. Definitely one of the pain points me and Victor Gagos had, which is why when we made BookMine, we wanted to make sure that the price that we would show you guys was the all-in price with shipping included, because it's kind of annoying when this happens again and again and again. Now, if we scroll down just a couple below that, we see a book called Cocina Mexicana. And this is a book that has had a couple selling drops in the 50s. If you actually expand its historical selling data over the last 2,500 days, you can actually see Amazon was selling it brand new for $28. Its used price was really high and healthy in the $20 range with plenty of selling drops. You can see when Amazon went out of stock, there are plenty of sales of this book in the $50s and $60 range. And then you can actually see how well the sales rank, how low the sales rank got when this book essentially just keeps dropping down to $5.12. So for whatever reason, there's some seller that keeps dropping the price really low, probably has a bunch in stock, and then shoots the price back up. I'm not really sure what's going on here, but this is a book, again, that has a lot of potential long-term of being a book that you might be able to pick up for $8 or $9 on shipping and maybe sell for 30, 40, or $50 and do pretty well. Now, just a couple more down, we have a book called Catwoman, Her Sister's Keeper. I mean, you have a book that looks like it's selling in the $15 range, most recently sold for $18. Over the last few years, it looks like it does hold some pretty decent value here, and again, it's down here to $4.99. So maybe this is a book you would sell in the $25 to $30 range, but the point is, there are a lot of books on Amazon that you have some pretty good past historical selling data that you might be able to pick up for super cheap and flip for some good money. Now, another way that you can find books like this is actually utilizing Keep a Product Finder. And the way that you would do that is you'd come over here to the top where you click Keep a Data, then you go to Keep a Product Finder. And then what we can do is actually input some parameters here to find some awesome books. And so what I would recommend doing is starting with a used price. So let's say we're trying to look for anything currently on Amazon that's under $12. And then what we're going to do for the 90 to 180 day average is put a price that's substantially higher than that, but not, way higher than that. Maybe we can start with something that is between, let's say, $25 and, I don't know, we can go up to 40. So we'll say the same thing here. Over the last 180 days, its used price is between $25 and $40. What we need to also do is make sure we're only looking in the book category. And you could also do this for other categories as well, but we're going to do this for the books category right there. You can see that's brought back 59,000 results. For books like this, let's also just say we want Amazon out of stock. We don't necessarily want to compete with Amazon. If Amazon's on the listing, it doesn't necessarily mean we can't sell the book. It's just, let's just get rid of some of these filters and try to dwindle it down a little bit. So we're going to say Amazon needs to be out of stock. And then what I'm also going to do is Control F for the find function and type in drops. And where this says sales rank drops over the last 180 days, let's try to find something that's got at least 6 drops, meaning it's sold on average at least 1 time per month. And again, that's just to find stuff that actually does sell. And similarly to Keep It Deals, we're just going to kind of use our cursor to hover over any of these products and see if we can't find something that looks to be a good deal. And already the first thing that I found here looks to be somewhat decent. Looks like we have a volume 3, maybe this is manga of some sort, but you can see here's a book that appears to have sales in the $30 range, a little bit lower recently in the 20s, but you can see just under what a repricing was at $25, $30 and is now down to about $8 plus shipping. If you look at the last 4,000 days, it looks like it wasn't nearly as high of a price, going back much further, probably because the offer count was way higher than it was in the past. But that was just, I think, the first offer there. And so what I'm doing here is now just using my cursor to go over a bunch of these potential books. And again, most of these books that you go through are not going to be books that you want to buy. But what we are doing is trying to find those books that potentially could be winners. And again, it's something that's going to take time, right? Just like if you were to scan books at the first store, not every book that you're going to scan is going to be a profitable book. You have to put in the reps, you got to put in the work, but you can potentially find books. This looks really good. This is something that was selling in the mid 30s at the lowest price in both the August, September, and January, February textbook season. It also looks like it's selling pretty much year-round pretty well. Now, for a book like this that does have a pretty good sales rate, you want to make sure that you can actually sell it. And that's why if you have Selleramp extension, which you would have to pay for if you want some of its better features is you'll be able to see if you can sell it. So you can see, yes, I can sell it. Now it is a textbook, and again, I would recommend using the Books Run counterfeit probability check just to make sure that this book is unlikely to be counterfeit. And so we can see if we, type in, it looks like this book is unlikely to be counterfeit. Then what we could do is look at some of the offers and figure out, okay, is this something that we might potentially want to buy? A good sign is that we have one copy at $15.49, another copy at $15, then it goes up to $24, and then up to $32. So it shoots up pretty quickly. That's normally a really good sign that you've got a couple really low undervalued copies when you have just one or two or three, and then the price shoots back up. Now this would be from a prime eligible or from a prime seller. So I get asked this question all the time, Joji, can you buy books from prime sellers with a prime membership? And the answer to that is no, you don't want to buy prime eligible copies from FBA sellers with a prime membership. So let me give you guys an example. Hopefully this makes a lot of sense. I'm right now on my normal Amazon customer account, and I have Prime because I buy stuff on Amazon all the time. So normally if I add this to cart, I would get free shipping, and I'd get 2-day free shipping. So if I add this to cart and I go to view cart, let me show you. I click proceed checkout. Okay, so what you're gonna see here is that the price is $15.45, and it's going to give me a free delivery. And the reason why it's going to give me free delivery is because this is my Prime delivery option because I have a Prime membership. Now, in some cases, for books that are Prime eligible from FBA sellers, you would be getting 2-day shipping if you have a Prime membership. And it's against the terms of service to use your Prime membership to basically get books shipped to you super, super quickly. So what you need to do for a book like this, if you really wanted to buy it, is you'd actually want to take the ASIN and you'd go over to, let's say, a non-Prime business account that you have, so a separate account, and you could just add to cart the book there. And essentially, if you can get the cart value over $35, then you would qualify for free standard non-2-day shipping, and then you'd be okay. Now, one thing that I want to make clear is that the overwhelming majority of books that we'll buy on Amazon to flip back on Amazon are not going to be from Prime eligible sellers anyways. Most of the times when we buy these books, they're going to be available from merchant fulfilled sellers. These are people who have the book at their house, at their own warehouse. They're the one shipping it out. Me having a Prime membership doesn't matter because the person has the book at their own house. The book is not at an Amazon warehouse. So again, 95% of the time we're gonna be buying books like this that have, $3.99 shipping, and say that they ship from that person's location, that it doesn't ship from Amazon. So I really hope that's clear. Yes, you can buy Amazon FBA copies from FBA sellers if you don't take advantage of 2-day free shipping with a Prime membership. Hopefully that makes sense. In any case, this is a book that we could pick up for $15.45, and we pick it up for $15.45. I mean, this is a book that I would say easily is going to buy box in the $40 to $45 range. I would say probably shoot it for $45 is a pretty safe bet here. You're looking at a $9 profit, and potentially, you could even go higher than that. The buy box has at times been in the 70s. Often probably wasn't selling at that high of a price, but I would say I would set my bid price at 45 and probably set my max price at 55 and just let it sell somewhere between there. Now we're going down a couple more books, and we see The Way of the Dream. We can see a book that just dropped in price. It went from $42 down to $11.79. Looks like it was actually out of stock here. It looks like the most recent sales of this book happen to be potentially up at $59. There's a couple sales in the 30s, but again, a book that is holding some pretty significant value in the high 20s, going up in the 30s. You can see the offer count of this book is really low. This is a book that holds very strong historical data. Pretty much any point in time, you can go back and see this book has sold in the 30s, 40s, 50s, even higher than that. So book at a low offer count, absolute no-brainer. It changed, price changed 25 minutes ago, and it looks like that copy is already gone. So someone snagged this, probably showed up on BookMine, and it's already gone, unfortunately. But again, another book you could have found using Keeper Product Finder, a book that you could have bought for under 12, under 13 bucks and flip for 40, 50 bucks plus. Now, the last way that you could find books doing this, and probably the easiest way to do that, is just to go over to BookMine. So full disclosure, BookMine is a software that my good friend Victor Gallegos and I built. We built it to make Keepa sourcing so much easier because there's a lot that goes into sourcing books on Amazon. There's a lot that goes into sourcing using Keepa. It's literally a tool that you need to master. What Victor and I wanted to do was make it easier, right? Make it easier for people to find books that are likely to be profitable by putting all these indicators together. And anyways, we're going to show you how you can find books using BookMine. By the way, you can get a free 10-day trial down below if you want to try it out. But we're over here on the BookMine dashboard. And again, what we're going to be doing is looking for books that are cheaper. So the first thing I'm going to do is come up to the used price slider, and we're going to say, let's look for anything that's current used price is under $11. And by the way, we can also sort it by price if we want. So if we want to start by the cheapest to the most expensive, we could do that by just clicking this used price button. And yes, again, these prices are going to be all in shipping. So these are the prices all in shipping, and that's pretty crazy. You can buy a book for $4 or $5 on Amazon, so pretty low. Now, there are other things that you can do to simplify this or to make it a little bit easier, because we've got about 1,000 results just by looking at books that are priced between $1 and $11. And again, remember, if the book has showed up on BookMine, it's a book that we think has a high probability of being profitable already. So you're already in good hands as it is, but you can even go further than that. So what I'm also going to do is look at supply meter, and we're just going to look at anything that is in short supply or extremely short supply. So we're even going to skip over normal supply, which potentially we're skipping over some pretty good deals as well. We'll look at anything that's in normal supply, and essentially we're just going to look at, okay, are there any books that just immediately catch our eye? So I see a book like this, you can buy it for $6. It looks like it's had some sales in the 30s. Looks like it was a little bit lower in the past. Maybe there's some seasonality to it. One thing that I love about BookMine, by the way, is that you can actually just see the keeper graph as you're just scrolling. And so you can try to look, use this pattern recognition to find books that you're like, okay, absolutely, let's go ahead and take a look at that book. Here's another book that, again, $6 all in shipping. Looks like it was getting up into the $25. Definitely some seasonality there. So that looks great. Another book that shows some seasonality. This is a book called Penguin. Looks like it had some sales in the mid-20s, and recently it's been a little bit lower, and now you can pick it up for $6.88. Now, a lot of these books, because of as this moment, we show you a 6-month keep a snapshot and not a year keep a snapshot, you still want to look at past historical data. And so for a book like this, I can see, okay, it's got plenty of sales at the lowest price being $25, often probably slightly higher as a prime multiple seller. And again, you could pick it up for about $6 and potentially sell for a little bit more than that. Now let's keep going and see if anything else just catches our eye here. Here's a book that's called Wind Up Race Cars. You can buy it for $7. Looks like it was selling really well. Probably a Christmas book, honestly. Sold really well in December. Looks like it was selling in the 20s. Yeah, you can see, this is a book that did really well September, October, November, December. It definitely probably sold during Christmas. You can see there's a big decline in offer count there. Went from about 10 down to 1 about midway through Christmas, and plenty of sales in the mid-20s. And again, this is a book that you pick up for $7. So for a book like this, you'd be buying for $7, trying to sell for between 25 and 32 probably. And again, that's a book that you can pick up for really cheap that you can make some pretty good money on. Here's another book that caught my eye, Healthy to 100. So again, we can see the current price down here around $7. It had some sales in the 20s here. So we can go ahead and we can look at Keepa. And again, what we're looking for is, do we see any patterns? What is the book been selling for? So it looks like we have a potential sell up to 30, some sales in the upper teens and the 20s. If we look at the last 2,500 days, you can see that this is a book that has historically gone down low, like it is now, and then gone back up and sold in the $25 range. That's really good signs, a really positive indicator that can happen again. So you can see it happen here, got low, then it sold back up in the high 20s, got low again, sold back up in the mid 20s, got low again, sold back up in the mid 20s, and then now you're seeing something similar again. So again, another potential book you could pick up for $7, probably sell for $27 to $35 would be a good pickup. Here's another book that looks really good. It looks like 4 or 5 sales on drops. It would appear to be in the upper 20s to the low 30s, and then a big repricing war, bring this down to about $7. So again, we could open up the Keepa link and take a look at that. So yeah, plenty of sales running drops in the mid 30s, even up in the 40s, and then even one up at $50. And interestingly, this book did well in 2018 to 2020, got really cheap for the next couple of years, had an amazing 2023 in February, selling in the 35s, and since has been selling in the 35s. So something like this that doesn't sell very much, you'd probably just want to pick up like a single copy, but something you'd be aiming to sell between 35 and $45 again that you could pick up for $7 or $8. Here's another book that we just came across. This has a BookMine score of 4. Looks like it's selling right around the $25 mark. Underwent a repricing war. Looks like you can pick it up for $8.84. Again, BookMine's telling us that it's in short supply. Gold meter is close. And so that essentially just means that today's price relative to the past is lower, not like incredibly lower, but that it is lower. And yeah, this is a book that looks solid. Its used price is almost always in the 20s. There have been a few times where it's been lower than that, but by and large, it's always in the 20s and even the mid 20s of that. Buy boxing for basically half the year at $33, $34. And again, another book that you could pick up here for $8.84. The target price on this would be in upper 20s, probably to right around $35. Over the last 3,900 days, this is a book that has been pretty solid. I get plenty of sales with the 30. So I really hope that this video helped you find books that are cheaper that you could buy if you're kind of limited on capital. You can try to keep deals, you can try to keep a product finder, and you can try out BookMine, all things that would find you profitable books. If you found this helpful, make sure you like, comment down below. And lastly, before we leave, actually a couple things. If you want more on how to source on Amazon, we've got the A2A Masterclass. That's linked down below if you want to join that. And then also we have the Books and Beyond Resellers Conference happening in Las Vegas, Nevada from September 13th through 15th. I'm going to be there. Victor's going to be there, Raiken's going to be there, Avery's going to be there, and a bunch of other really amazing speakers. So if you're interested in meeting us in person, meeting me in person, you want to have a conversation, you want to hear me speak, you want to hear those guys speak, and also some of those gals speak, then it'll be an awesome time. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Goodbye.